Welcome to Anatomy Sundays. So since this is actually our very first one, we thought, me and Frank thought that it would be pretty good for us to go through what seems to be the most important group of muscles at the moment, the gluteus maximus and the rest of the gluteal muscles. So today what I'm going to do is explain the origins, insertions and the basic functions so you guys can learn a little bit and I can stay accountable to you. So there are four main gluteal muscles. We have the gluteus maximus, the gluteus medius, the gluteus minimus and the tensor fascia lata. So these muscles' primary functions are extension, rotation and abduction of the thigh. So let's start off with the first muscle and the largest one of the group, the gluteus. Gluteus maximus is actually the strongest extensor and external rotator of this group of muscles. Now, its origin points are the sacrum, the ilium, the sacral tuberous ligament, and respectively the thoracolumbar fascia. So imagine it from this point here, and it comes down, and its insertion points are the gluteal tuberosity and the iliotibial band. Now, out with hip extension and external rotation, we have two sections of the glutes. So we have the upper and lower subdivisions, or the cranial and caudal fibers. So the cranial fibers come over the top of the femur and the pivot point here, and the caudal fibers come below this pivot point here. So the caudal fibers are actually involved in adduction, and the cranial fibers are actually also involved in abduction. So next we have the gluteus medius and gluteus minimus. Now, the gluteus medius is actually the strongest abductor of this group. Its origin point is the ilium, or the gluteal fossa, and its insertion point is the greater trochanter of the femur. Now, its primary functions are abduction. Now, the posterior fibers are also involved in external rotation and extension, and the anterior fibers are also involved in internal rotation of the thigh. Now, the gluteus minimus has a similar origin point, the gluteal fossa, and it also inserts into the greater trochanter. So the posterior fibers are involved in extension, and the anterior fibers are also internal rotators. Now, this group actually is a very important group for hip stabilization. Right guys, so the last muscle of this group is the tensor fascia lata. So its origin points are the iliac crest, the anterior superior iliac spine, and it inserts onto the iliotibial tract. Now, its main function is to assist in maintaining tension at the IT band, but it also functions as an abductor, a hip flexor, and an internal rotator of the thigh. So let's just show you a couple of these moves on Frank. So extension is the leg moving behind the pelvis roughly 10 to 20 degrees. Abduction is the leg moving away from the midline of the body. External and internal rotation is the femur rotating laterally and medially. Think of an exercise such as a squat, for instance. So if you're looking at the start of your squat, once you've got your feet set up and you're rooting your feet in, that's going to allow your femur to rotate externally. Then you would be looking to flex at the hips, the knees and the ankles. And you would also be getting what's called a transverse rotation there, or a lateral rotation, where you would be getting a slight abduction also. When you're coming back up, the opposite of that would be happening. You'd be looking to drive through the floor and then extend from the thighs or the knees, the hips, and that would also be looking to cue a slight internal rotation and actually. So that's it for our very first Anatomy Sundays. So if there's anything you guys would like to learn on Frank, then please just give us a comment below or leave us a private message. And as always, have a fantastic day, folks, and take care.